Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing Sisu, starring Jorma Tomila, Akesi Heni, Jack Doolan, Mimosa Wulamo, and directed and written by Jalmari Helander. Anyway, this film takes place in 1944. Finland has a nasty case of Nazis roaming the countryside and going all scorched earth on the roads and towns. And in the midst of all this lies one man roaming the countryside mining for gold. This man, who for a good chunk of the film you don't know his name, has decided he wants nothing to do with the war and just simply wants to mine for gold with his horse and his cute little doggy. Well, unfortunately, he comes across some Nazis, and the Nazis, surprise, surprise, also want a piece of this gold. And so kicks off a cat and mouse game in which people are stabbed, shot, blown up in hilariously dark and occasionally tragic fashion. So I will acknowledge that what a lot of people have been saying about this movie, about how it's a bit like John Wick meets Inglourious Basterds, and while those two films are very different in terms of screenwriting and storytelling, I get what they're saying. However, I wouldn't say the film is exactly on the quality of either of those two. And I will say this, the film does, if you've seen a John Wick movie or a John Wick clone for that matter, you're not going to get too much that's new in terms of narrative storytelling. A lot of the plot beats and backstory are very similar. I mean, simply put, you'll be able to guess what happened to our silent main protagonist's family very quickly, and the film doesn't exactly explore much more backstory beyond that. Thankfully, the film does compensate for this for a lot of visuals with a lot of visual storytelling. Everything you need to know about this character is done through visuals, through the close-ups of his grimy clothing, to the long wide shots, to the close-ups of his war-ravaged body. It's all very well done. Plus, the film uses a great amount of long wide shots of the Finnish countryside to really to convey the vulnerability of all the characters compared to all the carnage that's been laid to waste by the Nazis. It's great stuff. So the performances are also well done, with Tomila being a one-man show as a lone gold miner wandering the Finnish countryside. While he lacks dialogue for like 99.9% of the movie, he more than makes up for this by taking a cue from from Tom Hardy's portrayal of Mad Max and using much of his eyes and body language to convey everything you need to know about this character and about his past, his backstory, his thought process. It's very great stuff, and his desperation to hold on to the gold he has worked so hard to get. Plus, Henny does a good job of bringing to life his ruthless Nazi commander Bruno. He too uses his body language to convey how Bruno is a ruthless yet patient Nazi commander who is all too willing to toss the soldiers under his command as human meat shields toward our main protagonist. It's great stuff there too. Plus, Mimosa Wulamo makes the most of her limited screen time as a prisoner of the Nazis who leads her fellow female prisoners up in a rebellion against her Nazi captors. So, again, very well done there. Plus, she gets a solid monologue describing the backstory of our main protagonist and how the Nazis should just get their epigraphs ready because they gonna be dead very soon and very painfully. The action scenes are amazingly well done. And you make great use of the Finnish countryside, or whatever they chose to approximate the Finnish countryside with. Every time someone was stabbed, shot, lit on fire, or otherwise eviscerated, my jaw was on the floor. And yeah, making these action scenes all the better are the variety of set pieces and the practical gore effects, or heck, even what appeared to be practical gore effects. Because, I mean, that's how you know a film is good when you can't tell the difference between the practical and the digital. Although there are some obvious digital effects, but even then, the set pieces are still plenty of fun. And making these action scenes all the better is that some of them clearly take inspiration from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. However, they add a nice, gory R-rated twist to a lot of them, making them all the more fun. The only problem with some of the action scenes is with the close quarter combat scenes, as the editing gets a bit too choppy for my taste. They're still fun and they're still reasonably comprehensible, but still, it just feels like a bit over edited at times. So, despite feeling a tad familiar to the John Wick movies and its copycats, Sisu thankfully makes the most of its World War II setting thanks to grizzled performances and jaw dropping practical effects. So, with all that in mind, I will be giving Sisu 3.5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you liked this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, did you like Sisu? Why or why not?